Okay, this is game 25 from the book Forgotten Genius, The Life and Games of Grandmaster Albin Planinc. Game 25 is interesting because Planinc was white and he played against Visgacic in Sarajevo 1970. Planinc's opponent was Master Božidar Gazic 1937-2004, one of the legends of Sarajevo chess. In 1970, chess was still in its infancy in Sarajevo, and Gazic was one of the leading chess players in the city at the time, thus gaining the right to participate in such a prestigious tournament. Okay, so let's see the game. I like, as you can see, that there is an introduction to the game and tell us about the other player that we don't know anything about. e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, d6, once more we see bishop c4. So Planinc loved to play against the Sicilian defense and carefully studied the many offensive formations for white. And like we know already, he liked to play with bishop c4. So the system was quite fashionable at the time, mainly because of Fischer games, and it was also studied carefully by Planinc's contemporary and lifelong rival, the Belgrade Grandmaster Drasko Velimirovic. So let's see, queen b6, knight b3. Queen b6 is still a popular choice today. e6, bishop e3, attacking the queen, queen c7, f4. White planned this move anyway, so it was best to make it as quickly as possible, since it is also used to control the important e5 square, where the c6 knight might jump if necessary, with the idea knight c6, e5, c4, okay? a6, bishop d3, b5. This position was the starting point for many Grandmaster games, with white choosing from a number of plans. Besides the game continuation, there is also queen f3, okay? The game continuation instead is queen e2. Okay, so the first 10 moves must have been played quite fast. Bishop e7, g4, wow. An interesting typical Planinc decision. Most whites here decide what? To play immediately castle on the queen side. And then it follows obviously the classical battle between white and black, black attacking on queen side, white attacking king side, and so on. Yeah. So let's see what happened in this game. Also g4 is something that I think it's theory today. Maybe in that time it wasn't so theoretical. But castle, g5, knight d7, and now it comes a very interesting move. White is going to castle, but not on the queen side. He castles here. Wow, that's interesting. Let's see what happens. Rook e8, rook f3, knight f8, so I want to defend this. Black played according to his template. He did not want to move the pawns in front of his king, and the knight defends practically everything from f8. Especially the potential critical h7 square to which white could direct his attack, yeah, obviously. On the other hand, the knight on f8 is out of the game. Yes, obviously. So he says he could have played this, knight c5. But interesting. So rook a f1, rook b8, rook g3. So here it says that the attack on the h5 would have been useless, and so that's white is trying on the g or f5. The problem now is that black has all these pieces on the side attacking, yes, but there is really nothing to attack. Okay, you gain a material advantage on this side, but the problem is what's going on. I mean, if the other guy gives checkmate on the other side, what do you do, right? The game is over. So I don't know, it's interesting, but it seems a little pointless to attack where there is nothing. Okay, now there is more commentary upon the game, but I just want to see what happened and how did the Planinc actually win, because it's really strange. e5, e5. Obviously, sometimes it's a difficult decision to push, especially if you wanted to do something like this and open the position. g6, knight f2, a5, knight g4, knight d7, and here white plays knight f6. Wow. Obviously he must take, otherwise he loses this. Knight takes f6, g takes f6, bishop f8, h4, a4, h5, a takes b3. Like I said, you gain material on the side, and if you are able to defend, the game ends well because black is winning. But if attack on here, if you're not a computer and this attack is good, the game is over. H takes g6, f takes g6, obviously, bishop takes g6, h takes g6, rook takes g6, king h8. And now, if you were white, what would you play? Try to play a move for white. White plays rook f2. Obviously, the king will be checkmated. Queen h7, rook h2, rook b7, and a takes b3. It seems that the computer would play this move, queen h5. But let's see. Oh. So probably you don't see it. I don't know if we were like this. But queen h5 is very strong, because queen h5, the problem is the following. That after queen takes f5, rook takes f5, rook h7, white plays f7, threatening checkmate here. And if he doesn't, he gets this and become another queen. So he has win, that's why. Okay. However, let's see what happened in the game. A takes b3, d4, rook takes h7, rook takes h7, queen g2, bishop h6, obviously to avoid that, and rook takes h6. And the game is over, and black retry. So Why did Black resign? Hmm? Why did Black resign? G8. Hmm. Okay. I think this movie is interesting. What would you play as a white? There are many possibilities here. But one must not take immediately there. I think it's all about this. Then when it takes, let's see what happens. Tak, you need to do something, right? To prevent this from becoming queen. But you can't. And now I think white has won the game. It just needs obviously to do something like this, and then it become a queen, okay? But I don't know, I think it's very interesting. Or obviously you can move this back or this. He just needs to dislodge this from f8 so that he can in some way to promote, no? Tac, or whatever it helps at a certain point to dislodge this king. Interesting. Okay, a beautiful game, and notice there is another game that is interesting. Game 26 is between Brown and Planinc. Brown was really a strong grandmaster, and so I don't know if Brown was here it says a future famous grandmaster and a good friend of Bobby Fischer. I don't know if Brown was a good friend of Bobby Fischer. He also says he uses the system of his countrymen, but if I remember well, Brown was Australian and he came to live in US, right? Or maybe check me out and fact check me, please. I hope you enjoyed this game.